Welcome to the Ruby on Rails tutorial, Learn Web Development with Rails, live lessons. The purpose of this tutorial is to teach you how to develop custom web applications, and our tool of choice is the popular Ruby on Rails web framework. If you are new to the subject, the Ruby on Rails tutorial gives you a thorough introduction to web application development, including a basic grounding in Ruby, Rails, HTML and CSS, databases, version control, testing, and deployment, sufficient to launch you on a career as a web developer or technology entrepreneur. On the other hand, if you already know web development, this video quickly teaches you the essentials of the Rails framework, including MVC and REST, generators, migrations, routing, and embedded Ruby. In either case, when you finish the Ruby on Rails tutorial, you will be in a position to benefit from the many more advanced books, blogs, and screencasts that are part of the thriving programming educational ecosystem. The Ruby on Rails tutorial takes an integrated approach to web development by building 3 example applications of increasing sophistication, starting with the minimal Hello app in Lesson 1, a slightly more capable Toy app in Lesson 2, and the real sample app in Lessons 3 through 14. As implied by their generic names, the applications developed in the Ruby on Rails tutorial are not specific to any particular kind of website. Although the final sample application will bear more than a passing resemblance to Twitter, a site which, coincidentally, was also originally written in Rails, the emphasis throughout the tutorial is on general principles. You will have a solid foundation no matter what kind of web applications you want to build. In the first lesson, we get started with Ruby on Rails by installing Rails, creating the first application called Hello app using version control with Git, and deploying to production. In Lesson 2, we make a second project whose purpose is to demonstrate the basic workings of a Rails application. To get up and running quickly, we build this Toy app using scaffolding to generate code. Because this code is ugly and complex, Lesson 2 focuses on interacting with the Toy app through its URLs using a web browser. The rest of the tutorial focuses on developing a single large sample application called Sample App, writing all the code from scratch. We developed the sample app using a combination of mockups, test-driven development, or TDD, and integration tests. We get started in Lesson 3 by creating static pages and then adding a little dynamic content. We take a quick detour in Lesson 4 to learn a little about the Ruby language underlying Rails. Then, in Lessons 5 through 12, we complete the foundation for the sample application. Lesson 5 shows how to make a site layout common to every page on the site. Lesson 6 creates a user data model, including validations and a secure password. Lesson 7 makes a working registration form, and then Lessons 8 and 9 create a full login and authentication system. In Lesson 10, we write the code for updating and deleting users while learning how to protect pages from unauthorized access. In Lessons 11 and 12, we implement account activations and password resets. Lesson 13 creates a second data model, user microposts, including an introduction to data model associations. Finally, Lesson 14 adds a social layer by giving the users the ability to follow each other, including the generation of a feed of microposts from users being followed.